Hi everybody, we're back. This is Dan.
Hey, this is Greg.
And sorry our last video didn't have any commentary, but we're just busy motherfuckers. That was our Christmas edition. And real quick, our last video we did grappling where we allowed small digit manipulation, which was really neat.
Yeah, it kind of changes the game a lot.
Yeah. But tonight in this video, we just had a massive snowstorm in our area, and me and Greg both, just from the storm and having a fucking shovel and deal with it, we were both kind of worn out, so we thought sparring.
So bare-knuckle boxing seemed like the good idea, what to do when you're tired.
Like, honestly, this was our idea, to have an easy night of sparring.
So where this came from is both when Dan and I used to train, some of the schools we went to, for me it was called tikate, which is almost like you go bare-knuckle, but its focus is on technique. You're not brawling. You're not trying to literally beat the crap out of each other. And your kickboxing school did something like that, right?
Yeah, we would do it more like for warm-up. It'd be like you'll see throughout the video our pace changes, but here in the beginning it's pretty much more what it was. And it was really just to keep things honest in perspective of this is what it's like when you don't have gloves on or don't have pads on. And that's really what it was. We'd allow takedowns and things like that. But it was pretty much the same thing that Greg's school would do. You know, just controlled sparring. But as always, there's certain points here we do up the pace. But I want to say this is like our most brawling session we had. But it definitely
Might have felt like it at the time.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, I saw the imprint of my knuckles a few times on you, which makes you feel cool. But it was definitely just a neat experience. It's something I think we're actually probably going to end up doing a lot more, because it bridges the gap between, you know, you're sparring with gloves and within the confines of like sport rules, boxing or kickboxing and things like that. Then all of a sudden you do it this way, and you'll notice, you know, if you have a trained eye, like we're kind of using like more traditional techniques almost. Like I just did some palm strikes there. You'll notice Greg's doing more traditional blocks. It's more, you know, give it another 5 minutes, you'll see more of it.
Yeah, and the idea about this is that, like, in boxing, if you throw a mega punch, and there's a little bit of grappling, although the grappling becomes a lot less, thank God.
Yeah.
Because we get sweaty eventually and I can just pull out of it really fast.
Yeah.
But, like, so in boxing, you're wearing, you know, an 8-ounce, a 10-ounce, a 16-ounce glove, whatever. And you can throw a mega punch, and if a dude blocks and hits his elbow, you have that much padding, and it's not going to rock your fist as much as it would rock as much as it would rock the other guy.
Yeah.
In this, you know, you punch the wrong part of the dude's head, and I've seen guys in real life break their wrists.
Yeah.
With a bad punch.
And that's one thing, you know, while in the past I did this regularly, like, and this is the first time in years I've really done a full sparring session this way. And it, like, right away, I just tried to do a flying elbow. And, like, right away, I realized, like, a few times, you know, I'd hit you with punches and things like that. And I'm like, okay, I got to make sure when I throw that punch, my wrist is nice and tight and my, you know, fist is clenched. Because there's one time I punched you in the ribs and, like, all my fingers cracked. I'm like, wow, if I really laid into that punch, I would have broken my, you know, just my digits there. But I know, like, and this is, you know, through third-party YouTube channels, I heard Tyson used to break his hand, you know, he'd break his hands or injure his hands when he'd get in street fights and stuff. Because he trained from a boxer when he was really young. And having your hand wrapped and taped, you know what that's like, and then it's on a glove and everything. It's different than just having
your hands.
Yeah, and the one MMA fighter, Bass Rutten, he did a podcast with Joe Rogan, and he actually, when he kickboxed, he didn't wrap his hands underneath. He said he liked it better not having his hands wrapped. He would just wear gloves, which you don't really hear about too much.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, Bass Rutten's badass. He's a little older now, but he still whoop everybody. But so one thing, you know, as everyone's heard before, Greg's the kicker, and I look like I seizure when I kick. But one thing you'll see eventually here, I start doing a lot more elbows because I felt a lot of confidence when, all right, if he's going to chuck a kick at me, well, I'm going to hit it with my elbow. And it seems to kind of start to have more of an effect there where, you know, it kept Greg honest. If Greg was going to chuck his leg up there, he knew there was a chance I was going to smack it with my elbow.
Yep. And I can tell you right now, by the way, my right ankle is hurting at the moment. It's probably going to be swollen tomorrow.
Yeah, my body hurts too.
And you know what? That's as it really should be, in my opinion. Because basically, you know, defending is almost attacking, and attacking you need to play defensive too because you can hurt yourself.
Well, it's kind of like chess where they say, you always want to keep momentum. Once you lose momentum, you're reacting to, your opponent's moves. You're going to start to lose.
Suck at chess.
I actually got, like, obsessed with chess for, like, 6 months. And I joined this online chess thing. And I got, like, somewhat decent at it. And then I played real chess people. And, like, my ranking went right back down. But then I played against, like, the newbies again. And I was like, king of the idiots. But, so one thing, and I did this the last time we did stick fight.
You know what? Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Grappling, we were allowed to punch and kick each other too.
Yes.
So, like, this wasn't, if it was on the ground, I could punch you in the ribs, you could, kick me in the ribs, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's a lot more MMA, but also remember doing this bare knuckle. So, most of the super duper strong punching I was doing was while we were on the ground, just trying to get you the fuck off.
Yeah. I remember the first time, I'd done some grappling, and when I went to that kickboxing school, we do grappling there too, really just because it was popular. So this grappling instructor was, more than capable of teaching it. He was very good at it. But he would do that. He's like, all right, we're gonna, just like how we're doing tonight, but it would be more grappling oriented. You'd start on the ground and stuff. And one time, clearly he was letting me, get him in the move, but I got him in the mount, and then he just like ripped me in the ribs really bad, like 3 times, and I was just like, oh, and he just like rolled me. I was like, okay, that's another way to, get out of the mount or get someone off, off your chest. But just kind of like what I was saying here, last time we would stick fight, I started doing this thing where if Greg got close, I would just wing my stick out there real hard, almost like, if you get within my sphere there, I'm just going to crack this stick out there to keep you. So you have to be like, all right, if I close the distance with Dan, he's going to chuck his stick at me really hard. It was the same thing I started to develop where if you're going to throw your kick out there, I'm just going to smack it with an elbow. I started to get some success with it, but it was definitely like, I would still say that the learning curve hasn't even really begun yet with this. This is something I'd want to explore more where there was moments during this, I felt like a good rhythm, and then I'd kind of like start to put other things together and try to figure it out and kind of like lose my step again. The one thing that I could not do is really any type of ground game, which like it really surprised me to the point like how neutralized any grappling was because you don't want to do it.
Nope.
So you're not looking for it. And I was very cautious because Greg chucks those kicks and I don't want to freaking get my ass knocked out.
It's a decent equalizer that way.
Yeah. But let's see here. We took a few breaks, but at one point Greg gets his shirt ripped. But one thing I also tried to do a lot of was trapping, which had mixed results, and that was where I just grab your wrist, try to punch it. But once we got sweaty, it just wasn't really.
Even when I used to do MMA, that was my defense mechanism. I sweat.
Just sweat, yeah.
I sweat. Give
me a minute.
A looped up eel.
Yeah, I'm gonna squirm my way out of this one.
Greco-Roman wrestling from the get-go.
Yeah, because Bruce Lee from doing Wing Chun taught a lot of frozen balloon, but he taught a lot of trapping, and it's just. I try to apply some of it here, and I definitely see it like down the road having more of a purpose and being able to use it more. It's just the timing.
The trapping thing, in my opinion, is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because back in the day when I used to do traditional Tang Sudo, and we'd be able to grab each other or whatever, is that if you're grabbing a guy's hand with your other hand, you need to be confident you can attack right then and there. Yeah. Because now you've lost that hand in the same way that other guy has lost his other hand. Yeah. So if you're holding his wrist, you're not going to hit him with that arm. Yeah. So you need to swing at him then, or kick him then, and then or he's going to do it to you. Yeah, and that's the one thing I definitely agree with. And I think down the road, I'm definitely going to, not to give away my secrets here, what you got to watch out for, but I definitely, like, when I was trying to do trapping tonight, like, I feel like, all right, this can work. It's not really working right now, and then you got fucking sweaty, so then it wasn't working at all. But in the beginning, I'm like, okay, this, I could trap the arm, punch, grapple, like there'd be, even to get like a quick rib shot in, there's a good example. Right there. Yeah. But at one point, like, I grabbed your wrist, and I'm like, I just want to start like kicking you in the thigh, but I'm like, it's fucking legs. I definitely have a paranoia of like shin-to-shin contact with you, because your shins definitely have a power 10 level, where mine are like 3. I need to find a potion somewhere. Go on a quest. Well, to be fair, I've did a lot of stupid things when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So now I have no sensation from like the knee down.
I'm just glad no one got knocked out or destroyed tonight.
That's how you know it was a good night.
We've had, well, actually, several sparring. Because I actually had, and maybe one day you'll see them in one of our videos. I actually had a grappling session with another guy that may train with us regularly, a guy named Joe. And no one got injured that time, so that was nice too. It's kind of like a tryout. So, to our 7 subscribers, which includes probably people we know.
I think I'm a subscriber, so that's already.
Hit us up if you want to spar. You gotta have a tryout. But so this is here where I start doing a lot more elbows.
I can already just see watching the video. I didn't notice it at the time, but like your guard got a lot tighter.
Yeah, and I felt like more. Back when I was kickboxing, like one of the better guys at the school, and this is when I was younger, I was in high school, and I'm, like, you see these guys, and you're like, all right, they're good kickboxers. I see them with gloves on and beat people up in the ring, and I'm talking to one of them, and I'm like, hey, like, just talking about, like, advice for getting in street fights. And he's like, oh, well, dude, you want to do more knees and elbows and stuff like that, You want to break your fucking hands, get in there, throw some good elbow strikes. And that's what I was trying to kind of just, like, work with here. And just to really, honestly, just to feel it out. Like, I really didn't have, like, combos or a lot of plans of attack kind of laid out. It was just, let me start throwing some elbows. And I felt really comfortable when I was throwing them. I felt like I had a nice kind of protective shell around me. But at the same time, throwing those elbows, and elbows is a nice weapon to have out there. And I know if I countered or hit something of yours, it was going to damage you. And then just through that, I'm like, well, let me start trying to hit his fucking kicks with this.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah, like I can't fucking kick. I think I throw like one head kick a sparring session. I know I can get away with one. I can chuck my foot up there once, and you always look somewhat surprised, and it's not gonna happen again. That is it. No more. Is that where I rip your shirt?
Yeah, that's where you rip the shirt.
Oh, we have a Magic Mike moment here where we can't wait to see where I rip his shirt off. And my wife and our roommate Serena were watching, and they got somewhat.
Man, I look classy.
I had to take the mop out afterwards to say that.
Oh, thank God I buy all my shirts from fucking Goodwill.
The one thing we've talked about this before, we've said this several times, like, just getting punched and kicked tonight, you really do just start to develop that, like, leather skin. Like, there's several times tonight, like, it's been, almost a year and a quarter now that we've been doing this, and that you kicked and punched me, and I know, like, over a year ago, that would have just fucking wrecked me. And now, like, tonight, you feel it, and you take it, and you roll with it, and, you want to punch back, So it's nice to... There it is!
Boom!
There, that was...
Stripper move.
Yes.
Done. Right
there.
That
was a stripper move. You missed your calling.
God damn it.
So you went to school for being a camera guy. Fuck that. School for being a nurse. You gotta go to stripper college. Some seedy guy in a back alley asking you if you can suck his dick and you'll get hired.
All I can think of is Fight Club, which is my favorite movie ever, and I think one of yours too.
Oh, did Tyler Durden call for me today?
Is that Edward Norton, his character, said when the first day somebody was in Fight Club, they made a cookie dough. Give them like 2 weeks, they were carved out of wood.
Yeah.
And that's really like this. I feel like the bare-knuckle thing we were kind of doing, because the intensity eventually kicked up because you and I cannot.
I would still say we did have a good concept of control.
We weren't brawling, but like I feel it now, so I can tell we at least were swinging at least.
But
decent.
feeling your knuckles dig into my ribs, I'm like, this is good.
Like, and
this is learning.
And you don't fall down. You don't stop and say, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and fucking cry now. Yeah. It's like you take it, you go, and you.
This is a bit more of a cheesier scene. Ever seen the movie Knockaround Guys with Vin Diesel? And yeah, it's like the mafia guys, and they're in some hick town, and he does that whole 500 speech. Mm-hmm. He goes, oh, 500, like 500 what, douchebag? And he goes on to say, it's like, when I was a kid, I thought if I got in 500 street fights, I can consider myself a badass. And he's like, along the way, you develop leather skin and things like that. And it's just that. And he's like, and after a while, you forget the foolishness of it all, and you just become you don't even realize, but you are what you thought you were even before. And it's true. Like, you really have to get punched and kicked and hurt to really become a good fighter. You can't sit there and,
You can't watch movies and play video games and play
And
stuff
but
that-
be able to have the technique though too, like, you know what I mean. Someone like that, you know, trains in a McDojo. Like, yeah, I mean, they can do the kicks and the moves, and they're fast, and they can wail on a heavy bag. And even when they spar, they say they beat most people's asses. But until they met someone that can just fucking cave in their ribs and hurt them and make them say, I got to keep fucking fighting now. Like, you're not there yet. And not to jump on the bandwagon of what's popular right now, but that's what happened to fucking Ronda Rousey. She got in the cage with a pro fucking boxer that trained in an MMA gym for ages and got fucking punched and kicked like a motherfucker, and it hurt, and you could just tell she was fucking defeated from it. Yep. It's like Mike Tyson used to say, everyone has a plan to take a punch in the face. That's of all the rambling I've done, I should have just said that. That Mike Tyson.
And as far as the Ronda Rousey thing is concerned, and I think for most people is that, like, it's humbling. It is a humbling experience.
Yes.
And one of two things happens from it. You either stop, or you continue to grow with it, and you slowly become better.
Yeah, to square off with somebody, and it's one thing to, like, have never trained. Because you kind of go into it with the mindset of, like, all right, well, this is a trained guy, he's going to whoop me up. But it's another thing to have trained a lot, get a level of proficiency, think, that was a good spinning elbow there, by the way, but have a level of proficiency, think, or to a level, right, justly believe, okay, like, I am good at this now, I can defend myself, and then square off against somebody that's just whooping your ass, and to keep engaging them and keep getting your ass kicked, and you're sparring, and they're just beating the shit out of you. It's very humbling. But then it's also very important, to stand there and be like, okay, well, I'm going to keep fighting. A lot of it's about mindset. Mindset is back when I did firearms training, like, I had a whole class written up about combat mindset. It's one thing to sit there and shoot at targets and run around and feel like a fucking goddamn Navy SEAL. But it's another thing to actually have this mindset to actually go out there and get in a gunfight and shoot somebody and kill them and to live in that environment, and you got to mentally prepare yourself. And the same things, you got to mentally prepare for a street fight. And I would say one thing being, for lack of a better term, like, tough in the sense of taking a beating. Like, knowing that, like, okay, I can take a punch, I can get hit, I can take the pain and suck it up. It helps when you're in a situation where it might be going south, and like, what, well, fuck him, I've gotten hit before, and I can fucking take it. Not necessarily, this whole, like, well, I'm better than him, but, like, if this goes south, well, I can take some pain. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah, like, if he's, one of the things I try to think about even before going into this, because, like, I prep myself mentally as much for these as anyone, is that, like, all I can think about is if you're gonna take everything from me, I'm gonna make you work for it. Like, I'm gonna take it from your hide. Like, you're not gonna walk away from me without having me taking something else from you, at least attempting to take something else from you.
Like, it's kind of, it's like animals in the wild where sometimes, like, a Wolverine will back down a grizzly bear. It's like, yeah, the grizzly bear could actually kill the Wolverine, but it knows the Wolverine's gonna fuck it up. To where afterwards it's kind of eating, like, nothing compared to what it needs to eat every day. But on the other end of it, it has nothing but scars and blood it's losing. It could, die from that.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing, if you're, squared off against somebody that you should never have a defeatist mentality, but sometimes realism kicks in. You're going to get your ass kicked. But for a fact, you commit to, like, hey, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to hurt you. No matter what, I am going to hurt you. That can have a deciding factor. There was a story I read about a samurai one time. And, he was not a samurai. He was trained by a samurai because he had a duel to fight against another samurai. And the samurai was like, all right. His trainer was like, all right, dude, there's nothing I can really teach you in these couple of days that's going to make you be able to square off against this guy and beat him. But if you're ready to die, I could get you to the point where you can kill him also. And what it was, you just had him, like, his sword real high like this above his head. And he just stood there and he was like, all right, in a simpler term, come at me, bro. And it was pretty much the equivalent of, like, come at me.
Are you willing to die for this?
Yes, I'm ready to take a sword in the torso or the face, but as soon as you close with me, I'm just going to fucking chop down. And the samurai, like, backed down from it and everything. And that's just pure mindset there. And that's pure, and the one thing I used to always teach my students when I did firearms training and stuff was never think of yourself as the prey. You're always the predator. If you're facing down some scary motherfuckers and right away you think of yourself as like vulnerable, you're the prey, they're coming after you, you're way behind the curve.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be like, fuck, you just gotta be like smoldering inside yourself, like, fuck these motherfuckers, there's 3 of them, you know what? I'm gonna jump at that one and bite his fucking ear off, and I might get the shit kicked out of me, but the rest of his life, he's gonna fucking not have a goddamn ear.
One of the things that always stuck with me was the guy who teaches me with Kenjutsu, the sword training guy. He's an ex-biker, like he's, you know, grew up in the 60s and 70s. I don't know if he was part of a biker gang, but like he's been riding forever. And he said that one of the things he always did, he apparently got into several bar fights in his life. You know, very, very much like your average samurai. And he said one of the things he learned was that like he did Aikido, so everything he apparently did was very close up. I don't think he ever like actually crippled anybody, but like
Yeah.
he like got into fights and got beat up other people. Is he would always try to say something to the guy in the middle of the fight that would try to freak him out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna take your eyes.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and like, you know, that makes or breaks. You know, it's kind of like if.
Well, it makes the person think, you know, is this worth it?
And then ultimately, in the real life, that's what it boils down to, is like, you know, the posturing. If you and a guy are drunk in a bar and you're both trying to be the biggest badass in the room,
Yeah.
is like, is it worth it to you for whatever's going to happen to you the next couple days, or maybe the rest of your life to really go through with this?
We're just doing like nothing but movie references tonight. But you ever see Way of the Gun?
Yes.
Yeah, I love the opening scene. And I actually, when I got to the Marine Corps, I got obsessed with that movie. I probably watched the movie no less than 100 times. And then I watched the movie no less than 100 times with the commentary from the people that made. I love the movie also because to go on a completely different.
Well, it has a lot that applies to what we're actually doing right now too.
Well, what I like about the movie, just from a writing perspective, is they don't like give you anything. Like when they talk about past events in the movie, like if I had to reference something like, oh, I remember the time at Rob's house and we ran into each other, and you would know exactly what I'm referencing. That's how that movie's written. Like the one. Father son who's a doctor who like fucked something up in Baltimore. They never say what happened because they don't need to. They just reference it. But anyway, in the beginning of the movie, the 2 main characters who are just, you know, like bad guy, you know, criminal, low life kind of guys, but who are very cool, by the way. They're kind of in a parking lot kind of standoff with just a fucking crowd of people. But it was another guy's loudmouth girlfriend that kind of started the thing and got these guys in this situation. So they just decide to beat up the 2 girlfriends, you know, because they know they're going to get their ass kicked, which they do. And I watched the commentary, and the guy that wrote it, him and his friend one time were, it's not that it's badass of a story, they're like at a park playing like Frisbee or something, and this argument happens between them and just like a smaller group of people, and the one friend's like, what do we do? And he's like, just punch all the girls. And the friend's like later on, and it actually de-escalated, nothing happened, but the friend was like, why'd you do that? And he's like, you know, we were gonna get our ass kicked, but no matter how bad they kicked their ass, if they're at home and their girlfriend has a broken nose and their, you know, face is swollen, there's blood, and they got to get surgery, it wasn't worth it for them. And like that's what I'm like thinking about.
Talk about thinking long term.
Yeah, granted, that's what, you know. But that's kind of like what I'm thinking about now. You know what I mean? Like just, you know, you square off against somebody, it's like I'm fucking gonna take your. Now if you got to be a good judge of character. If that guy has a scar across his fucking face and, you know, some prison tats, he's not gonna fucking give a shit about you taking his eye. But
Totally.
you know, if you're you know, suburbanite motherfuckers standing in front of you, you got a good chance it's gonna fuck with his head.
Yes, I get it. I grew up in the suburbs. Fine.
What if you like you tell some biker guy, I'm gonna take your eye, and he just takes out his glass eye and hands it to you. He's
Well,
like,
at that point, he's probably won. Like he can have whatever it is he wanted at my fucking bar table. Oh, you know what? Something I was just thinking about now that we were talking about before, is that there you go. There's fucking.
I look so little there. Well, you're like kneeing a little kid.
I'm just waiting for your. Half the time I was waiting for your son to jump off the couch and like tackle me.
I know. There's my wife.
So, is that technique-wise, something you and I were talking about before, is that I happen to be falling back on a lot of very traditional techniques. Because when I first started martial arts when I was a little kid, the school I went to, the Tang Soo Do school was run by a Korean military dude. He was very nice, very honorable, very everything like that. But like our sparring, we didn't really have pads. We just kind of did it.
Like was it like point sparring or was it still?
No, it was just kind of like how we do it. Like you set a timer.
Yeah.
And we go for whatever 3 minutes, and you switch opponents.
Okay.
And then, and so I'm finding myself falling back on a lot of the techniques I learned there, whereas like the hand of the foot I'm striking with tends to be forward. I'm not doing a lot of more than 2 combos at a time, because your block can hurt me as much as my attack can hurt you, and so I'm almost playing it more defensively. So a bare knuckle fist, if you stand in front of your friend and put your hand near them and just hit them from that far away, the difference between that and a boxing glove is almost worlds apart.
Well, the reason they have boxing gloves is because people were getting bloodied and cut and their hands broken. It was a business thing. That's why they included gloves. I mean, honestly, that's why. Like, they had, no holds barred, and then eventually it got a little more organized, where it was just stand-up fighting, no kicking or grappling or, catch wrestling or shit like that. But bare-knuckle boxing's still pretty rough itself, But eventually they're like, we can't have a guy just get cut and bleed profusely the first 5 fucking goddamn minutes, so put some fucking gloves. You notice gloves have gotten bigger and smaller through the years and stuff like that. The one thing, this sparring session, which we definitely got to do more of, it gave a lot of credence in my mind to more traditional techniques. Now, I'd say a lot of traditional schools need to do more sparring like this, which a lot of people don't want to do.
I think every karate school needs to do more sparring like this.
This hurt. Like, this hurts what we did tonight. But you kind of, like, at one point I saw you do more, like, traditional, really hard blocks. You still had a flow to it, but I kind of saw that. And I'm like, you know what? If I chuck that jab out there and you just bop it with your elbow, that would have fucking hurt, it would have hurt
you.
And it protects you, though, too, because, that's, a stronger part. And a lot of it, too, is, I've always enjoyed to study, with different varying degrees of intensity, like the history of martial arts and like, why they, develop a martial art this way, like Aikido or Wing Chun. And a lot of, like, if you look at sumo and Aikido's kind of, if you go farther back in it, you'll see this. A lot of that was based off, you're on a battlefield, you're chucking swords at each other. It's not like we're squared off in a ring. You know what I mean? Where we're kind of, it's more of a controlled setting. It's where all of a sudden you just hack someone's head off and here I come. I'm like, coming overhand right, I'm just gonna punch you. Well, I have all this momentum, and you can take that momentum and chuck me with it. And that's where, like, sumo and aikido actually have more of a purpose, and you can see, like, how it would work. It's just, as I said before, stuff gets watered down, it becomes a business.
Yeah.
You can't have people getting the shit kicked. I don't know. This is training to fight, get the shit kicked out of you. So one guy I used to kickbox with, we kind of, I joined the Marine Corps. He left the one school. I actually ran into him years later when I was in the Marine Corps. And he had a black eye. And I was like, oh, fuck, I know you. He was dating this friend of mine. And just obviously he was still trying to fight. And he was training at some Aikido school. And he's like, oh, yeah, I failed my test for, his next belt level. And he's like, we're not like other Aikido schools, man. We freaking square off. And, like, they're really fucking hitting you.
You miss, you get hit.
They're really trying to duke it out with you. And I mean, he had a legit, like, freaking swollen, like, some guy just cracked him in the head, black eye. It wasn't like, kind of like what we have, these little bumps and bruises. I'm like, okay, they're doing it right. But they still do strikes and everything.
Hey, that's...
Yeah.
In my opinion, you should add strikes to techniques that are only strikes. You should
Yeah.
As long as you can hit the guy. Yeah. By the way, I apologize for how many times I hit you in the crotch.
Yeah, Greg hit me.
I swear to God, I was aiming for your legs.
It's like 5 times.
Every time you see us stop and like circle each other, most of the time it's probably like kicking balls.
Well, that's one like I don't want to say like neat, but like a thing to think about. Like inside leg kicks are very effective. Like an inside leg kick hits more than an outside leg kick, at least in my opinion. But the problem is it's easy to foul the guy. So if you ever had like a really good inside leg kick, you're like, man, I don't fucking hit someone with that. But you hit him in the nuts, you get points taken away and shit like that. But that's the problem with sports. It takes away from what we're trying to do. We're just trying to be...
Too damn safe. We just want to get in the fucking living room and just fucking swing at each
I
other.
know. The one thing I like about our living room, it's small, so it makes us have to engage. Mm-hmm. You know.
There's no dancing.
There it is. There's a dick. Oh my god, shaking my... So Greg's like, are you free balling? I'm like, yeah. My silky shorts. I couldn't find my cup. When I have my cup on, I'm a little more brazen. Oh my god.
It's alright, dude. One of these days, I'm gonna fucking pay for it.
I don't really do... I did a few inside leg kicks, but I don't want to hit you in the nuts.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking it easy on me.
Oh my god. But I would definitely... Anyone that's serious about really training how to fight, you need to spar like this. Like, just... And then do it at the pace we did it, because you really can easily get hurt. Especially throwing elbows and stuff. They cut real easy.
Yep.
You know, but it really put a lot of things in perspective. And we'll still do the boxing and the grappling.
Yeah, just whatever we feel at the time.
Yeah, but this is, you know, definitely something that really you're like, okay, this is... just to feel the knuckles digging your ribs and the knees and the elbows, it just really like, okay.
In my opinion, this is the pinnacle of what martial arts really represents.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, like, you don't have a safety net. You are in a position with somebody that you don't necessarily feel safe with. Whether it's someone you know, whether it's someone you don't. Like, you get into a fight with a dude, you might not know what he... You know, you have no idea what the guy at the bar knows. He might be a fucking kung fu master. And you have to understand your own defense as well as your own attacking and learn the other guys at the sake of, you know, possibly injuring yourself in the process. And
so what's the point? Don't go out and talk shit either.
just be nice to people.
One technique I liked I was doing tonight, and it was just a couple seconds back I did it, where I threw a left elbow strike and then just come back with a back fist.
Yeah.
And I felt that had some... I don't want to like overdo it though. I don't want to like double dip too much with it because then you'd learn it.
But also little tricks like that, whereas like if you ever like watch a kung fu movie and you see a guy like almost do circles with his hands and like back fist a dude in the face. Stuff like that is not gonna knock a guy out, but it's more effective.
You know, you punch a guy in the nose, make his eyes water. It's better than not doing it at all.
Yeah, it's like it's something that adds to your advantage, even if it's just something little. And so those little tweaks were like, you know, you get half a back fist in instead of like the full swing. You're still getting half a back fist in where you might have had none. It's
like back when I was in the Marine Corps, I used to teach my junior Marines. I'm like, if all you see of his leg, shoot his fucking leg. You know, like, you don't have to wait for his like center mass or his face to shoot. Like, put a bullet in him. It's gonna make him have to think about other, you know, issues at that moment than trying to come kill you. He's like, oh fuck, I got a bullet in my leg now, and I'm bleeding, and I'm trying to go kill this guy. Maybe I gotta go get some first aid.
Oh, that was a good one. We should make that our fucking picture.
What one?
I think that was the one where you knocked the wind out of me. So one of these things where like you and I don't know if it'll show on the camera, you and I were both ducked down. I caught you like on the cheek, and you caught me across the ribs.
Yeah.
And it's probably at this point I am like pretty much winded right now. Like I'm literally.
I don't know. I noticed that at all.
I like at some point in this, I was literally trying to put enough out there that you thought I wasn't.
It worked. Yeah.
And then, but like recovering at that same time.
Yeah.
And
I was
like that chest thing you were talking about. It's like I literally needed you to think.
Yeah,
that I would still attack you.
I have moments like that too, where I'm like, Dan, you have to like throw something. You gotta keep him thinking. You just can't fucking stand there and like not do anything. Like kick him in the leg, throw a jab, like. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, I got some momentum going. Like something came from it. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like, you know, go up and talk to the chick, and nothing's gonna happen if you don't fucking say hi. Yeah.
I always knew you thought I was pretty. Thank you for that.
Yes. Well, it wasn't until the shirt came off. But, this was definitely something we got to do again. We keep trying to invite more people into our sparring group, but they kind of come over and get punched, and they don't want to do it again.
That was one of the things that I experienced a lot when I was doing the fight team, when I was doing the pro fighting thing.
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot of people come in, but the ones that stay are the ones that, like, like have the heart for it. Long story short.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much how you and I bumped into each other at that one fucking party. You're like, didn't I fight you in a basement?
Yeah. We're actually we only got a few minutes left here. Jeez, man, this is flying by tonight.
Yeah, really.
So.
I still couldn't believe we went that long.
Yeah, and just so you know, it's like we were sparring at like 10 o'clock at night. So after like shoveling snow we got 18 inches here. So,
Jesus. Yeah. I think we got about a foot.
Yeah. So I mean, and then it was kind of like.
And now I get to drive home without a fucking shirt.
I'll give you a jacket or something. But it was kind of like nature said, "Fuck you, man," because like we got like the first like douse of snow. And then
all winter long.
And then we shoveled. And like the whole neighborhood came out and shoveled. And then we got like the other like layers. We're like, all right, we're fucking going to bed. So I was actually like shoveling snow today. I'm like, I gotta fight Greg later. This is what I fucking need to do.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Like.
Well, thank you for if your loan looked anything like mine, I was just expecting to just kind of like trudge my way up to your house.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. We definitely because I got me, Jen, and the kids, and someone else that lives here. I gotta make sure everything's nice and salted and safe and ready for everyone to get in their cars and
domestic
leave.
living.
Gotta do it, man. It's a bare-knuckle boxing, but there's still the leave it to beaver shit I gotta do. Nice spin kick. Greg's a fucking whirlwind. Oh, so, remember Street Fighter where the guy does, like, the hurricane kick? He's, like, up in the air and just goes like this? There's some, like, martial arts taekwondo guy that can do that. Granted, he's never hit anybody with it, but he can actually jump up and, like, spin around, like, twice with that.
I just wish I was that agile to look that cool.
So, this is us coming to the end. Even though we have 7 subscribers, but people that actually make it this long through our video, leave us some comments. Let us know you're watching it. And if you ever have any ideas for different training things you can do, throw it out there, internet world, if you are there.
Anything that could be fun. That's why we're here, because we like having fun.
Yeah, anyone that made it this far, 36 minutes and change through the video that hears me saying this, there's gonna be like one guy like, yes. But,
hit him with the pug.
See you next time, guys.
Later.